Hi. Thanks. So, hi, I'm Emily, and I got here late, so I was just sort of like, hey, let's do this. I play roller derby. I've played it for about 3 years now, a little bit more, and about 3 years ago, literally 5 or 6 months into playing the sport, knowing nothing about it, really, when it comes down to it, I actually came up here to Minneapolis to participate in a fundraiser for a documentary that was called, the fundraiser was called Jam Out with Your Clam Out. I was here to take off my clothes in front of a lot of people on stage. That's a thing I do sometimes just for fun, for kicks. But part of the deal was coming up to see the Minnesota Roller Girls play. And then the next morning they had an open scrimmage, and you could sign up for this scrimmage and go play roller derby. And I was like, great, I'm gonna do this. I'm super gung-ho, I'm into this sport. The thing about roller derby is it's addictive. It's a cult, really, when it comes down to it. And it's a weird sport because it's still very much in its infancy. It's been around for about 10 years in its modern form, a little bit more than that. So it's this weird situation where, as someone who is a complete and utter noob, 6 months in, basically like a little leaguer, the equivalent of, I can go jump into this scrimmage and play with some of the best skaters in the world. So it's like if you were like, hey, there's a pickup scrimmage with some NFL linebackers, and sometimes I play touch football. I'm gonna totally go hang with these guys. That's what I decided to go do. Me and maybe 2 other people who were about at my level jumped in with men and women, co-ed scrimmage, who were some of the best skaters in the world. Because there was a bunch of people in town for it at the time who come from all these different states who are gonna play this scrimmage. So I show up, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. I'm ready to do this. This is gonna be great. I'm gonna learn so much. And I get out there, and I realize that none of these like high-level players want to be the jammer. Now, the jammer in roller derby is the person who scores points. They are a target. Everybody wants to kill you when you are the jammer. You are the one who scores points, so everybody's after you to knock you out, drop you down, knock you out of bounds, make you pay. No one who is at the high level wants to be the jammer in this scrimmage full of other high-level people. So me and another friend who are bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, and I'm like, yes, I'm gonna be a jammer. This is great. I'm gonna prove myself. I can totally do this. It's fine. It's gonna be great. So I volunteer to do this. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna jam in this scrimmage. It's gonna be fine. And I go out there, and I don't know, just sort of the beauty of the drug of being just super into something and not realizing what imminent peril you're in. You can just sort of get through it, and I don't remember half of it, but I got out there and we were going along, and I was never ever getting through. Like you're basically trying to pass through a lot of people in a pack, and I just never actually got through. But I was trying, I was getting up, I was doing it, and I kept taking hits, and my side started to hurt real bad, right in here. But I was still doing it, and I went out there one of these times with the star on my helmet. I am a target, and this man, and here's the thing about men who play roller derby. Love them, they're great. They tend to play a little bit differently than women. Women, we've got legs, we've got hips, we've got an ass, so we play low. And we go for low hits. Men tend to play a little bit more upright. They like to throw their shoulders at you. That's what they have. So if you're really good, you aim at their legs and you take them out and they got nothing. It's glorious. You can just lay them right out. Which I have since learned how to do. At the time, I didn't know that. So this guy comes after me, all shoulders, right in here. And I didn't realize it at the time, but it's not a good idea to do this to protect yourself as a jammer, for many reasons, but specifically in this case because you're wearing protective elbow pads that have a hard shell on them. So someone hits you with that hard shell, you're sending it into your own ribs. Not awesome. So this guy comes up, lays a huge hit on me, and I'm taking it here, and suddenly I can't breathe properly. But I'm like, it's fine. Everything's fine. So I keep going. Like that jam ends, and I'm in a lot of pain. I can't quite breathe right, but I'm just gonna keep doing it. I'm not gonna jam anymore, though, guys. I'm just gonna block. It's fine. So I get through this scrimmage in a lot of pain, and a week goes by, and another scrimmage is happening back in Wisconsin, where I'm from. And I decide to go to that because I'm like, I'm fine. This is fine. I don't really notice this anymore. It's probably healed. It's nothing. And I go to this scrimmage and I'm jamming again. I'm doing this stupid thing where I keep my arms next to my ribs, and I'm getting hit by this woman in a jam who's just constantly going at it. And she sees me starting to, so she's aiming for it now. And I finally come off from that jam and I sit down and I'm like, I can't actually breathe. You could just put me in as a blocker, though. It's fine. I just won't jam anymore. It's totally fine. And finally, my partner comes over and goes, I think you need to stop. I think something might be wrong. So I pull myself out of this game finally, and sure enough, find out that I've cracked a rib. And it had probably cracked the week before, but like I said in the beginning, roller derby is like a drug. It's like a cult. You just don't notice. So I cracked a rib. I couldn't play, but I took a couple months off and I went right back to it, and I have not looked back since. So that was the time that I crushed my rib, learned some valuable lessons. I skate like this now. It's great. And I haven't looked back since.